I can go. What's that old Kmart, bro? I was about to say '02, but I think that's wrong. I think he was class of two. Was it 2000? Big homie was class of. Trying to see. It's like 2000 or something like that. Shorty class of 2000, bro. Class of 2000. I think I said it in the video because I might delete that video. I said '02, but I knew that didn't make any sense. Because, guys, as a starter, a third-year player, starter, he averaged 12 and 8, a block and a half, and he went to back-to-back NBA Finals in '01, '02. I mean, or is it '02, '03? I think it's '02, '03. That's a third-year player. Then a fourth-year player playing a role as a number one pick. Now that I need to make sure the spaces got me loud and clear. I need to make sure they got my vocals nice and crisp when I say that he was a starter as a third-year player, number one overall pick. It is more difficult for the number one overall pick to play a role than it is for him to step in the role of being number one option. If you can't comprehend that, I really question how much basketball have you consumed? How long have you really been around the sport? Because when you drafted number one, almost every scenario, the ball is expected to go in your hands. You're expected to show what you can do at max capacity with max opportunity. That ain't the case. The New Jersey Nets had the pick. It was from a trade, if I'm not mistaken, or they might have just been that bad. I don't remember. But nonetheless, they had a star player already. And the dudes that they had, they weren't, you know what I mean? The dudes that they had in Jersey, like they were solid. But it's obviously salute to J Kidd first. They don't go nowhere without J Kidd. But the crime partner that J Kidd had on defense, because J Kidd played defense, man. He really he was a good scorer, but that's because everybody was on notice with him dishing that rock out to an open man. He really wasn't that much of a scoring threat like that. Like he'll get aggressive, but he knew his shot was broke. He knew his touch around the rim was good, but his agility to get to and from wasn't all that. He's a bigger guard. He's strong, but this is the '90s. Like his strength ain't wasn't worth as much as it would be in the 2020s. So this is a situation where he was 11 assists a game, 10 assists a game, easy money. He is absolutely spanking your defense with quality passing and ball movement. So that's what the defense is looking at when he's not no scoring threat. So it ain't like Kmart. I don't know what y'all even look at his. You can go look at his draft day profile. Like they did not say he was a scorer. They didn't say he was a you know what I mean? They never accused him of being David Robinson, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan. They never accused him of being that. I think they might have had one unfair comparison to Alonzo or something like that. But a lot of those scouts and those guys who do that draft stuff, they just kind of they fall all the way into the hype of body type and just run with body type. So you obviously see the comparison there. They got similar body type, boom. But ultimately, as the number one pick in the 2000 draft, and I'm going to pull up the picks because I need y'all to see. I need y'all to see him being picked number one in 2000, the same thing as Draymond going in the second round. The only difference is that Draymond was not credited with any of the accolades and the accomplishments that he reached in Michigan State because of his quote unquote attitude and broken jumper. It was really more so about the broken jumper. I don't think any scouts had any faith in Draymond being able to average 2 points in the NBA. They had all the faith in his defensive ability, his toughness, his rebounding. But I don't think they had any faith in his offensive ability. Draymond has proved us all wrong there, and as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Draymond, I think he's shooting like a 36 and a half, 35 and a half from three on the career. He's proved me wrong tremendously in that mark. I would have never thought I lived to see the day where you can't much leave the brother open. But guess what though? He plays in Golden State. He does a shot that you gotta hit. If you're not gonna be pulling down 10 rebounds a night, like assists don't mean nothing in that offense. You're not pulling down 10 rebounds a night, blocking at least 3, 4 shots a night. You ain't getting in the game. You can't hit a three. We know this. So we gonna pull up the draft. I want to see the 2000 draft, man. I need to see it. I need to see it. It's imperative that I see it. You know what I mean? It's imperative. The streets need to know the truth. So I have him in front of me. 2000 draft. Let's take a look, man. All right. Kenyon, number one. All right. Kenyon was number one overall pick coming out of Cincinnati. He was a senior, 4-year starter. Another thing, 4-year player. That was frowned upon back then. You was pretty much guaranteed supposed to be a bum if you played for 4 years. It was like going number one. Going number one as a 4-year starter is like almost impossible in the NBA. The last guy who did it, and he was authentically the best player in the draft, was Tim Duncan. And Tim Duncan only finished school because his mother passed, and he made a promise to his mother that he would get his degree. And that's why I consider Tim to be one of the realest, man. Anybody who ever made school obligations to a loved one, whether they passed or didn't pass, and you fulfilled that, you stood on your word. That's with that, right? But just saying though, Tim is the only was the only dude that was a 4-year starter that was really the best guy in the draft. That was starting for 4 years, right? So we got Stromel Swift out of LSU. He was a sophomore. He went to the Grizzlies, number 2 overall. It's the year 2000, guys. Um, I think I might have seen him on NBA My Team, but besides that, I don't know who dude is. He probably did not have a career. Third, we've got Darius Miles, man. You know what I mean? Illinois legend. Uh, Cavs legend to me. I feel like Darius Miles is one of the more popular players that ever played for the Cavaliers. Um, and the Clippers too. I feel like he helped the popularity of both of those franchises at the junction that he played for them. Man, he garnered popularity. There's another guy coming out of high school. You know, what I'm talking about in Illinois. So I think that again, how I'm speaking on this from how this stuff looks in the year 2000. I ain't got no big problem with that, man. Dude was like that. Chicago Bulls got the fourth pick, man. They ended up picking Marcus Pfizer. I don't even know who this dude is out of Iowa State. He was a junior. I don't know who this chump is, man. Shout out to him. But like, I'm just trying to make a point. And I'm not even about to go down Draymond's class. But you know Draymond's draft story. I give credit where credit is due for bro defying the odds. But Kenyon, I'm showing y'all like Kenyon being number one in this draft class don't mean nothing for real. Mike Miller at number 5 coming out of Florida, he was another 4-year senior. Normally, the underclassmen are the better players in this case, and the upperclassmen are the best players here so far. We've got 2 seniors, Kenyon and Mike Miller, are clearly better than the rest of the guys on the board. We got DeMar Johnson going to Atlanta out of Cincinnati, played with Kenyon at number 6. He's a freshman. We don't even know this dude. But as a freshman, he goes number 6. His teammate, who's a senior, goes number 1. I'm trying to show y'all Chris Mill, right? Out of Texas. Boom. Okay. Legendary Jamal Crawford out of Michigan, freshman. He's, Jay Crossover put a asterisk next to his name in this case, man. He went on to have one of the most curious and illustrious careers of a guy who was coming off the bench every team he played for. Salute to him. He's a freshman. He's going to be by far the best freshman in this draft. Not even close. You got Joe Villa. out of Minnesota. He was a sophomore. Bum. Keyon Doolin, who I was rocked with when he played, but ultimately didn't do that much. Out of Missouri, he was a sophomore. Now we had picked number 10. Jerome Masio out of France. Went to Boston. Bum. Eaton Thomas out of Syracuse. He was a 4-year senior. Pretty good player. I think he played for like a decade or so, right? But compared to Mike Miller, Jamal Crawford, Kenyon Martin, bum, right? Courtney Alexander, bum. And 13 going to a Mateen Cleaves, bum. Don't even know what it is. Michigan State team. Jason Collier, and I rock with Jason Collier. I remember Shorty. Right? Georgia Tech, senior. Milwaukee, 15 pick, bum. Because Hito Turkoglu and number 16 going to Sacramento was way better than him. You could argue Hito might have been better than Kmart at one point, right? So we gonna come on saying Quentin Richardson better than you argue he's better than Jay Crossover at one point. Not obviously he did not have a better career, but you could argue at one point he was better, bro. You know what I mean? Speedy Claxton, Deshaun Stevenson at number 3. He's better than all the rest of these chumps I just named at 17, 14, Team Cleveland's and all that. Desmond Mason, he's better than them. So this draft class is a jack in the box draft class, to say the least. There are no Hall of Famers for real. Jordan Crawford's got the best case for Hall of Fame here for me.
I don't know if it was a post, a video. I'm pretty sure Kenyon had made a video, but if y'all don't know, you know what I'm saying, Hoops fans, Draymond Green, Kenyon Martin, they've been going back and forth probably like last week or some change. Strictly basketball though, no personal BS, so we can get all into this. It's not lame or corny at all to get into this. It's strictly hoops, right? So they pulling good receipts on one another. The number 1 pick not quite living up to that status as far as his career. That's a fair point, but Draymond's solo production really ain't been all that. He just really be hiding behind his very dominant system, dominant teammates. That's a good point too. It's real. Like I more so identify with that than the Kenyon not living up to number 1 pick thing. Fun fact: Kenyon's draft class to me is one of the weakest I've seen in my 2 eyes. Like for his draft class, he's okay with me. Like his draft class ain't really nobody produced the way you either overachieved or underachieved. There's not like it's nearly not no Hall of Famers in that draft class. If you go look, it's not a whole lot. So it leads me to this, bro. My last question to y'all is who is better? I don't care about what era. If you putting together a starting 5 that must either include Draymond Green or Kenyon Martin, who you taking as a Hoops fan, bro? Talk to me.